Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's What's for Dinner video, I'll be sharing with you what meals we had this past week. Our dinners were easy to make, budget friendly, and delicious. So if you're looking for some weeknight meal ideas for your family, just keep watching. For dinner this first night, I made myself a chicken caprese panini. Here's everything I used. I've got some sliced Roma tomato, sourdough bread, some of the balsamic glaze from Trader Joe's, pesto, chicken deli meat, arugula, and then I had just a little bit of shredded mozzarella cheese left over, and so I'm going to use that up. So what I did was I took my bread, I spread a layer of pesto, added the cheese, added the turkey, and then buttered the outsides of the bread. I toasted it up in a skillet on medium heat until the bread was toasted and the cheese was melted. At that point, I'm going to separate the sandwich, and then I added on some sliced tomatoes. I seasoned those up with a little bit of sea salt. Next, I'm going to add on that arugula, followed by some of the balsamic glaze. And then I'm going to close up the sandwich, and then that's it. My sandwich will be ready. And this is so good. There is so much flavor between the pesto and the sourdough and that balsamic glaze. Yummy. Now, for this side, I had some dressing that I'd made up for the macaroni salad that I made last week, and I kind of didn't know what to do with it, and I didn't want to waste it. I thought, well, you know what? It's kind of similar to the pea salad dressing that I use, so I'll just make a quick pea salad. I've shared that before on my channel. I'll link it down below, but like I said, I didn't follow it exactly because I was using what I had on hand, but just some thawed peas, some crumbled bacon, cubed ham, some cheese, and then that leftover macaroni salad dressing. And that was my dinner. Gary wasn't feeling well this night, so I just cooked him up some canned chicken rotini soup. He likes the chicken rotini instead of chicken noodle soup. And so I just warmed that up for him and served it with some saltine crackers. And then I had some of the chicken deli meat from the Caprese, just a few slices left over. So I just rolled that up for him so that he could just have a little extra protein with his dinner. And yeah, that was our dinner that night. For dinner the next day, it was Sunday, and I did a slow cooker roast. I've shared this many times before on my channel. All I do is season a pot roast with salt, pepper, add it to a crock pot with some chopped onions, potatoes, carrots, and then I combine a can of cream of mushroom soup with a packet of Lipton onion soup mix with a little bit of water or beef broth. And then add everything to the crock pot, cook it low and slow, 8 to 9 hours until the roast is fall apart tender. And then normally I go in and add a little cornstarch slurry, just water and cornstarch to thicken up the gravy for the pot roast. So simple, but delicious. And then to go with the roast, keeping the sides super simple this night, I've just got some canned greens. I'm going to warm up on top of the stove, add a little extra seasoning. I'm going to cook up this boxed macaroni and cheese according to the package instructions. And then here I've got my homemade potato rolls. Again, I've shared this before. I'll link that video down below. I make a batch, and then obviously it's way more than, just the two of us need to eat in one meal. So I freeze them and then thaw them and warm them up. And yeah, that was dinner this night. We like ketchup with our pot roast. And so yeah, we ate that with the roast, and this was a delicious, delicious dinner. The next night was crazy busy. Luckily, I had picked up a cold rotisserie chicken at Walmart, and so I said, hey, that's what we're doing for dinner this night. So here's that rotisserie chicken, and then I had this cheddar broccoli Nora rice side in my pantry. Just going to cook that up according to the package instructions. The rotisserie chicken had instructions on how to warm it up, which I think it said to place in the oven at, I believe, 325 degrees for 15 or 20 minutes. Just check your rotisserie package, if you buy one of the cold ones. And then, yeah, I cooked that rice up according to the package instructions. I asked Gary to pick up a salad kit. He had to run into the store real quick. And so this is the one that he chose. These little cheddar pretzel bites that were in this salad were delicious. I could have just taken a whole bag of those and just snacked on them. They were really good. But yeah, that little salad kit was good. And yeah, that was dinner that night. Simple, quick, easy, but it got food on the table. And Gary did end up adding a little bit of barbecue sauce to his chicken. For dinner the next night, I didn't get a picture, but you've already seen it. We just had leftover pot roast and vegetables. The next day was off of meal plan again, but that's okay. We make meal plans to plan, but they're not set in stone. But I'd been scrolling through Instagram that day, and somebody had made chicken spaghetti, and I was like, that sounds good. And I've got some of that leftover rotisserie chicken that I need to use up. So I'll put the recipe in the description box below. This is really easy. I did have the recipe. So in this pot, and this pot is fine. I just boiled up the pasta in this. That's why it looks dirty. But I'm going to add a can of cream of chicken soup. And then we're going to add a can of Rotel. Now, the recipe calls for 1 can, a full can. I have the recipe. I should have used half a can. I used the full, but it's fine. A little extra tomato didn't hurt. I'm going to add in a little bit of softened cream cheese. Mine wasn't as softened as what it could have been, but that's all right. Turns out okay in the end. Next, we're going to add some evaporated milk. Give that a stir and cook that on like medium-low heat until it's really well melted and smooth. While it was doing that, I added in some dry ranch dressing mix. You can use whatever seasonings you want. Now, here's the pasta that I'm using. I used the Barilla protein, and I boiled it up in some water with a little bit of chicken bouillon powder. Now, the recipe doesn't call for shredded cheese in the mixture, but I had a little bit and wanted to add it, so I did. So once everything's melted and smooth, like I said, I'm going to take that rotisserie chicken and try not to drop it in the pot. I'm going to give that a mix and then add in the cooked pasta. Now, you could add, diced onions to this. You could add mushrooms. You could add bell peppers. Add whatever you want. We're going to give that a good mix, and this is going to go into a greased casserole dish. Now, this is either a 9 by 11 or 8.5 by 11. I can't remember. But again, it's greased. Place the mixture into the casserole dish. We're going to spread that out and then cover this with some more shredded cheese. This is going to go into the preheated oven, 350 degrees, for just about 20 to 30 minutes until it's bubbly and the cheese is all melted and gooey. Now, I do like to let that sit for a couple minutes before I serve it up. And then for the side, again, keeping it super simple, we're just going to make some quick sauteed green beans. Here, I've got these green beans. These are steamed in a bag. I cooked them in the microwave according to the package instructions, but I did it for only half the amount of time. In this skillet, this is on about medium heat. I'm going to add in some butter, those steamed green beans. I decided to use some of this Kinder's buttery garlic and herb seasoning to taste. Give that a mix and then just saute those for a couple minutes, and then you are good to go. Here are the plates. We've got some of the chicken spaghetti, the green beans, and again, a little quick and easy, simple dinner. For dinner the next night, I apologize, guys. We were so busy this night, and Gary just quickly picked up Taco Bell for us after a work meeting of his. I didn't get a picture. I apologize. I got the Chicken Cantina Power Bowl with a side order of like the chips and cheese. He got one of the boxes. I can't remember which one it is, but it came with like a crunch wrap, let me see, what did he get? A soft taco, chips and cheese, and then a drink. And then he also tried one of the new steak chipotle burritos. And yeah, that was our dinner that night. For the last dinner in this week's video, it was a last minute change. I, for whatever reason, just wanted a snacky dinner, and we haven't had one of those in forever. I had some shrimp in the fridge that I'd bought for something else this week, and I really needed to use it up, and so I decided to do a shrimp cocktail, but I tried Ina Garden's version of it. So first up, I made my cocktail sauce. I've shared this before. I do not measure anything. I apologize. I just eyeball it. Here's everything I'm going to use. I've got horseradish, chili sauce, ketchup, Worcestershire, hot sauce, and fresh lemon juice. And I, like I said, just eyeball everything, mix it up, and then pop it into the fridge for, at least 30 minutes or an hour or so to let the flavors come together. Usually with shrimp cocktail, the shrimp is either steamed or boiled, but Ina Garden highly recommends roasting the shrimp, so I decided to try that. I just peeled the shrimp and tossed it with some olive oil, salt, pepper, placed it onto a baking sheet, popped it into a preheated oven at 400 degrees, baked it for about 8 to 10 minutes until your shrimp turn pink. And then here's the shrimp cocktail sauce with the shrimp, and this was really good. I do have to say, roasting the shrimp and just seasoning them with that little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper really gave it more flavor. I had some hot dogs in the refrigerator and some crescent rolls, so I just did some quick pigs in a blanket. I cut the hot dogs in half and then wrapped them in a crescent roll. I added a slice of American cheese to half of them and then placed them on a greased baking sheet, popped them in a preheated oven at 375 and baked it for like 12 or 15 minutes until they were golden brown. Next up is a veggie pizza, and this is really what inspired me to do a snacky dinner because I had some vegetables that I needed to use up. I've shared this so many times before on my channel, and every time I share it, I say the same thing. I flippin' love this. I can eat the whole thing by myself. This is so good. I'll put the recipe down below. I halved it. So first on this grease baking sheet, I just laid out a tube of crescent roll dough and pinched the seams together, popped it in the preheated oven at 375 and baked it for about 8 to 10 minutes until it's golden brown. Okay, the bowl on the left has the topping for the pizza. This is just softened cream cheese, sour cream, dry ranch dressing mixed together really well. I'm using some shredded sharp cheddar cheese. You can leave off the cheese if you want. For the veggies, use whatever you've got on hand. Use whatever you and your family like. This is just what we like. I've got some diced Roma tomatoes, diced cucumbers, carrots, and then some chopped up broccoli. So once that crescent roll dough has cooled, spread out that cream cheese mixture, add on the veggies, the cheese, and then this is good to go. Now, keep in mind, the cream cheese and sour cream mixture will soften the crescent roll dough. So what I do, usually if I'm making this ahead of time, is I will chop up the vegetables, have those ready, make the mixture, have that ready, but then I wait to assemble it until, we're ready to eat it or I'm ready to serve it. Here are the plates. Y'all, this totally hit the spot. The shrimp cocktail was yummy. The pigs in a blanket, of course, you can't go wrong with those. And then that vegetable pizza, I've already said I absolutely love that. All right, that is it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope that you liked this video. You got some dinner ideas from it. If you did enjoy it, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.